he gets in the car, and he's got a boot on his left foot. And I said, dude, what did you do?
You park illegally?
He's like, nothing.
Oh, that's so funny.
What?
Hey, there's two of you, Scary.
People like that. It's so funny.
What do you mean?
There's two of you. It looks like there's two of you in the podcast. No, there's two.
No,
there's
This is my computer I'm staring at.
Yeah, no, there's another one behind you.
So he
Reach
does have
over
two
your
chins.
computer.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's Elvis's computer.
That's so cool.
I look better on Elvis's computer.
I don't know about
This is a little cleaner.
I'm gonna
It's
shut off
further away, and it looks like there's like it looks like you have a little makeup on or something in Elvis's screen.
Yeah, why are you going to kill the good computer that makes you look good and use your computer?
Yeah.
that. Yeah, just do it from where you are now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up?
Oh, we don't want to see your crotch, Scary. How's your arm?
Gary,
Now
turn
we
off,
see your arm.
turn off the one by your dick.
Your big arm.
No, I gotta get rid of this one.
His arm looks like his calf.
So now we see your leg.
I'm having Elvis's computer leave the room.
We see the
Just
countertop and your
close the-
legs.
Close the lid.
All right, we're back.
Okay, there we go.
What are we talking about?
I don't
Your
know.
crotch.
Let's do this for 12 more minutes.
Hey, can I tell you about a shitty friend of mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I love hearing about shitty friends.
Do you work with him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because that didn't lead down a great path last time Scotty started a story like that.
A guy that lives around the block from me said, hey, is there any way you could drive me to the airport this morning? So I'm like, okay, but I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock.
Today?
Such an
Yeah.
antiquated idea.
Today. So why is it antiquated? You want to spend $80 on an Uber?
People getting rides to the airport. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. It's just like take an Uber. It's easier.
No, it's not.
Easy,
It's
Yeah, but it
expensive
costs
though,
$80.
Scary. A lot of
Why-
people
If Scotty
can't
could
afford
drop him
that.
off and he's willing to, why not do
I'm
it?
going that
Right,
way.
you can save
Guys,
$80
Moneybags over here knows what he's talking about.
Guys, it's
all right?
not bougie if your friend drives you, and you can't get a 5-star rating if your friend drives you.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, I'll drop you off, but it's going to be super early. And he said it's fine. So I pull up to his house, and he comes hobbling out. I'm like, he gets in the car, and he's got a boot on his left foot. And I said, dude, what did you do?
You park illegally?
He's like, nothing. They come out and they get me in a wheelchair and they bring me to the plane. I said, are you fucking kidding me?
Stop it.
I said, I'm not taking you. He's like, no, dude, it's all good. I do it every time.
Really?
And I think that is so shitty.
That is so
And-
shitty. And you know what?
Listen,
Tell him to take a fucking Uber at that
Karma
point.
is a bitch. It's going to come back at
But
him.
that also makes
It will.
me think. It also makes me think how many people must do things like that.
so many people do it. I wish Nate was here right now because Nate was plotting on that when we all just went out of town. You know, we went overseas, and he was like, next time, I think I'm going to put a boot on my leg because
Oh
you just
my
get through everything. You get
gosh.
to board the plane first. And then he says on the other side, if you just take it off on the plane, once you hop off or whatever, who's going to know?
Yep.
No one's going to know.
People used to do that at amusement parks too, to skip the lines and stuff. But I
Okay.
think
Oh.
that they kind of like know that
I was used for that
Yeah.
my senior year. I had ACL surgery, and then they had like grad night. So all of my friends just wheeled me around. They got to the front of the line. I couldn't ride a damn thing, but they got to the front of the line because I was in a wheelchair.
Well, we did that. We did that legally at Disney. My daughter had a boot on her foot, and we had a note from a doctor why she had the boot. And so they let you. We called it booting the rides. So they let you basically fast pass. You tell them you check in, and then they tell you what time to come back, and then you come back and you just walk right. You just go right on the ride.
Yeah.
You don't have to stand because she couldn't stand. So then we were
What a
like,
scam.
Oh, but
I
it was
get left
true.
in line if I'm okay.
The scam was we
That's
put the
nonsense.
boot on my second daughter the following year. That was the scam.
Oh, Brody!
Oh, so that's bad.
That is
Yeah,
bad
Brody, you can't
karma.
blame this guy then.
We didn't have we didn't have the doctor's notes, so it didn't work.
Elvis introduced us to the Miracle Flight.
Yeah.
The Miracle Flight is very famous.
Yeah.
Usually they run from New York to Boca, West Palm,
Florida,
Miami,
somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
South Florida.
And at 6, 7 in the morning, everyone's got wheelchairs because they have the wheelchair people go first.
Yeah.
Everyone's in a wheelchair. But then when the flight ends on the other side, you take note. Everyone can walk miraculously
Yeah.
off the plane because the wheelchair people have to wait till the end till everyone gets off. So all of a sudden they find the strength,
Yeah.
the power that I can actually stand up and
Right.
walk off this plane.
Jesus.
now.
Oh, it's the
Whoa.
humidity.
Yeah,
Is
but
it wrong that, like,
there should be a note or something on your ticket that if you get a wheelchair going, you have to have one
Right.
leaving.
Yes.
Of course they
Yes.
should.
No,
Of
don't you
course.
kind of feel like old people should get a pass though? Like they're old. They've been on this planet for a long time.
Well,
They've
it's fine.
earned it.
You don't get to
they want to
scam
get on
people,
first,
though.
get off, whatever.
Yeah, but don't
It's a scam.
Young
Don't
scammers.
pretend like you need it, and then
Right. Because
Run
then-
like hell.
Right, because then the airline has to have all their personnel wheel you, and then
Right.
do it if you
By the
need
way,
it.
jobs.
who's
It's
going to be
good.
the first one to do it when they turn 75? Scary Jones.
I'm not never.
Yeah.
I
I
would
don't
not
think
do that.
Scary would scam the system like that.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
Not like that.
No.
Not unless
I
the
find other ways.
yeah.
Right.
He'd find other ways.
There are other ways.
Oh, Scary's good at scamming the system, though. Like when we were in Miami a couple weeks ago, he got us in everywhere and got the hookup everywhere. It was like, hold on, let me make a phone call. And bam, we were there. So
Well, that's
can't
not a
knock it too
scam.
much.
That's just me being resourceful.
Okay, what about the scam you did in Atlanta?
The scam.
What do you do in Atlanta?
He looked up the name of the general manager of a restaurant.
That was brilliant.
Go ahead, tell the story, Scary, real quick.
Wait,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
So I couldn't get into this very difficult steakhouse. So I looked up a 5-star hotel that was nearby.
Right.
I called over to the hotel. I
That he
the
wasn't staying at.
and I was not staying at. And I knew the general manager's name from Googling it. And I'm like, hey, is Kim so-and-so there? And they're like, oh, no, she left for the day. Of course, because I call after hours. And they're like, I said, oh, listen, yeah, I'm so-and-so, and I'm coming for a conference. But I got here a day early. I'm supposed to check in tomorrow. But I want to go to this great restaurant tonight. Can you help me get into this steakhouse? I'm not checking in tonight. I'm checking in tomorrow. And they were like, oh, sure. Being a concierge, they have all the hookups.
Oh,
They called
man.
over to the steakhouse. They took my cell phone, called me back. Hey, buddy, so and so, your table will be ready, available for 4 people at 8:00 or whatever it was.
That's
And that was
resourceful.
it. Boom.
Well, I mean, that's on them for not checking if you actually had a reservation at
Right.
the hotel.
I
Right.
used their concierge service at a hotel I wasn't staying at to get a reservation that would have been impossible to get
Yeah.
otherwise.
All they had to do
That's
was look and
solid.
see if you were staying there.
Did you put a boot on at any point to
No,
get that
did
right?
not.
They didn't wheel you.
You're
Yeah,
a
but
good
he
person.
ate so much they wheeled him out of the restaurant.
Nice. I have a scam that
Sometimes-
I taught Scary, but I can't say it on the air because we use it all the time. So
Oh, well,
But
not
they
on
would
the air.
do
It's
it-
just a podcast. Go ahead.
nope, can't
Oh.
say it in the podcast.
Actually, no, Gandhi, you do something. Oh, we can't say it in the podcast.
We can't say it in the podcast because then it's not going to work
Gandhi,
anymore.
Speaking of things you can't say, Gandhi, I'd like to say the thing you can't say.
Remember the
But
thing you
let's
just told
just
us
say
not to
this.
say? Let's say that.
Gandhi's scam is brilliant. She'll tell everybody off the air.
Yep.
And it,
Well, not everybody.
It works like a charm. And
Only
I
us
give you
people.
credit. I got to try it one day.
Yeah, it works every time. Andrew knows about it. Is Andrew still back there?
Yeah.
Andrew
Andrew,
knows-
remember Off the Grid? We got into that steakhouse. It's that scam.
Gandhi is a genius.
Is this the one where she
Wait a minute, I
pretends?
want to know all about the scam.
Don't do it now.
Is this where she pretends to be the great granddaughter of a famous world leader?
Heyo.
Is that the one?
That one works every time. No,
She
I'll
got the
tell you
job
guys
here
all
because
off
of
the air.
Gandhi.
But if I say it on the 15-minute morning show, then people are going to know, and our scam's not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
So
It was
we
It'll
just have
work.
to-
It'll still work.
No, don't do it. Don't do it here, Gandhi.
don't
It
do
was
it.
genius.
Andrew knows
Brilliant.
It's nothing illegal. It's just brilliant.
I just love the names.
Wait, Gandhi got us into a restaurant were we in Vegas?
She pulled the scam.
And she just walked over and she made it seem like we had a reservation. She was just like, hey, I'm just checking on our reservation to make sure we're going to be seated soon. And they were like, yeah, no problem. We're like, what?
I've
And there were so
also-
many people in front of us.
To that point, Danielle, I've noticed that if you walk into anywhere with confidence, anywhere there's a stanchion or something not, and you act like you belong and you
Yeah.
just walk, no one's going to stop you ever. They don't say, where you going?
Yeah, try that at the airport, Scary. See what
Not
happens.
the airport. I'm talking about
Walk
places
into
that
the
are-
bank like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But if you go up
Into
to
the
a
vault.
desk, if you go up to the desk and be a little assertive with
Yeah.
the front desk about, waiting at
Right.
Applebee's, everyone's
Yeah.
sitting there with their beepers on the bench for 2 hours, you could you could come up with
Yeah,
concoction
Scary does it
story
at
on
the grammar
run.
school. Right, it walks right in.
He walked right into the ER.
Hey, you could go like this. Here, I just thought of it right now. You walk up to Applebee's front of the line on a Saturday night.
Yeah, that's a
Damn it,
safe worth
Applebee's.
cracking.
Hey, so here I am.
What do you tell them? You're
I've never
Walker
been to an
Hayes?
Applebee's on a
On a
Saturday
date
night.
Is my
night.
table ready? You just walk up cold and say, "Is my table ready yet?" And they could be like, "No, well, I understand. Where's your beeper?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been sitting here for an hour and a half and they didn't give me a beeper." Just do that, just like that. And they're
Right.
like, what? Like, I don't know. I came in, I checked in 2 hours ago,
What's your name?
and I've been sitting here on the bench.
Yeah, you checked in. What's your name?
My name is Scary. It's Scary
Right.
Jones.
Right.
You don't have me down there.
You'd lie. There's
Liar.
no,
Get
definitely
outta
no,
here.
there's no scary on
Outta
there.
here.
I
Hey, wait a
actually
second. I
heard-
never got a beeper.
I've
No,
heard-
this
You've also
sucks.
never been to Applebee's.
I heard Scary use that yesterday. I'm Scary Jones, Elvis Duran show. It was
No!
my favorite thing in the world. Also, side note, he went after there was an incident with a celebrity. Scary said, I greet my listeners all the time. I never have a problem taking pictures. The person who was the celebrity in question was an A-lister. So
Not an A-lister.
we said a solid B+.
He's a B. He's a B.
He's a B. You guys
B+.
know who.
He
B+.
dines with Jay-Z. I mean, yes,
Tell
he's
the
up
story,
there.
the backstory. It had nothing to do with me. It was really about Sam.
Yes. So Sam saw a celebrity. I saw him take a picture with someone else. So I'm like, you could go take a picture with this person. So I encouraged her. She waited for Scary to get back. We all know Scary's like the CEO of making the meet and greets happen.
Right.
Yep.
So he's now
Very
in the
good
front
at
of
it.
the restaurant in full view of everybody. So when they
The
go,
B-list celebrity.
but he's in the front of the restaurant now, so everybody can see him. He's not in the back of the restaurant where I saw him take the picture. So he's in full view of everybody. Sam goes over. He says he can't take a picture with her, but for privacy reasons or whatever. And she came back and she's like, oh my God, I got to meet him though. And we talked and it was so wonderful. Scary sits down. That douchebag.
Well, because I took the conversation. I kind of, said hello to him. I introduced Sam. I said, she's a huge fan. Sam had a few words back and forth. And then I jump in with would it be okay if Sam here took a picture with you? And that's when we got the whole privacy thing and no. And I'm like, you're an asshole.
I worked with this person on an event before, and they weren't the nicest when I worked.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, they were
That's so disappointing.
They were very cold and standoffish.
Are
So-
they like the president of their own fan club?
I'm sorry, your privacy. You're in public at a public event that was happening.
But this happened to you before, Scary, where you met Jerry Seinfeld, and he
Right.
goes, why do we have to take a picture? Because if I take a picture with you, everybody's going to want to take a picture.
Exactly. And he was in the front of the restaurant. It's where, like, if all of a sudden he saw one person, because that's what happened. Sam was like, I'm 99% sure this is him. Once it was confirmed, she was like, oh my God. But imagine now people looking at the front of the restaurant and saying, oh, who is that?
Yeah,
And
but
then all of
Danielle
a sudden the
confirmed
crowd
this person was a bitch ass other times. So
They weren't I'm not going to say they were mean, but they weren't the nicest. They weren't like friendly.
do they like themselves a lot?
I'm not going to out this guy, but he's
this is
very popular. He has 2 million followers on Instagram.
He does, but this
he's
is the
very
kind of
famous
guy.
person.
doesn't mean
This is the
shit.
kind of guy that should be the master of a lot of things, like how to be nice to people. But it
You
turns out he's the master of none.
You have 2 million followers. You must take pictures with everyone now.
But Paul
Right.
McCartney won't take pictures anymore. He says, I would rather have an actual conversation with a fan and give you that than take a picture with you.
I would rather have a conversation
You know?
with Paul McCartney as long as someone was filming it.
That's
Otherwise,
the
no
problem.
one's going to believe
the
you.
problem is that you want proof that you met Paul McCartney.
Right.
Like, you don't want that.
I kind of get it, though. Don't you kind of get it, especially with the way everyone is now, and you can Photoshop things to look like there's something they're not.
Right, but Reddy,
Take stuff
imagine
out
when
of
somebody
context.
asks
Like, I
you.
kind of understand it.
When somebody asks us for pictures, you would never say no. You would
Never
sound like a
say
big
no.
asshole.
No
Never
one
in
gives a
this room
shit
has
enough
ever
about
told
any of
the
us to do
listener-
something bad with it. Like, we don't count. We're not part of this conversation.
Well, listen, back in the day when Prince was still alive, I got to interview Prince. And they said it had to be a live interview because Prince wouldn't do pre-recorded interviews because of this. He was afraid that people would edit it to make it sound like he said things that he didn't say. So it's
I
kind of
believe
like
that.
the same thing, in a different way.
And when Scary sat down, he then said, "Well, I take pictures with every listener. I've never turned down a listener in my life." And then he said, to further the point that this person was a d-bag, and he doesn't follow anyone on Instagram.
Yo, he's one of those people that follows zero.
He hangs out with Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z has you don't follow him.
At this point, we should just say the person's
No,
name.
I wouldn't
We've
say
given
it.
so-
No,
no.
don't say it.
I'm
Don't
saying
do it.
we've given so many clues.
Don't say it.
We haven't
no,
given
I
a
think
lot.
you're the only one who actually gave a clue.
Oh, Garrett just did.
No,
you
everyone hangs out with Jay-Z.
Oh, that's true.
Could be
yeah.
Beyonce.
That's true.
It's just.
Are you
just
talking
not-
about Beyonce?
No, it's just not right. It's just not right. I'm sorry. Your fans made you, and now, and by the way, very personable when this person is out in public doing their public thing that they're known for and talks about situations and things and
All right,
relationships.
but that's their job.
That's their job. But to me, it's phony.
Well, but it's their job
it's
to
fake.
do publicity. But maybe this is the theory. Maybe that person was with people he doesn't want other people to know. Like maybe that wasn't his girlfriend he was with. Maybe it was his other woman.
But why would he be in public with all fans and
Well,
his
because
other
he's not in
woman?
public. He's in a restaurant
At
where
an
he doesn't want to
event
get his
with
picture
Scary
taken.
Jones.
And it wasn't a sit down. We were all it was a stand-up cocktail party.
And he was dressed nicely. He looked good.
Yeah.
I was sitting for reference. Just saying,
Scary.
I was sitting.
Well, he was sitting.
Yeah, you were sitting too. We were sitting eating
He
pizza.
was. Yeah, but when I got him, he was standing up and he was just
Scare.
finishing.
Did you introduce yourself to him as Scary
No,
Jonesy 100?
I didn't. But you know what? Had I done that, he probably would have taken the picture for Sam.
If we're talking about last night,
Yes,
what
we're
he
talking
wouldn't
about
have,
last
that's-
night.
It's not because you weren't famous enough. No.
By the way, it's also
He may not. If he knew who we were,
Scary.
he
It's
wouldn't
so
want
mad.
bad press.
Scary. It's
No,
also
taking the
scary.
picture.
If he knew who we were,
Absolutely.
he
You
would
know
All
have
right,
said,
I'm sorry to ruin this party, but our time is up.
Well, hold on, Froggy. One more thing.
I think we should keep fighting.
Scary. It's rude to go over to somebody and basically admit you don't like them. You're like, hey, can my friend likes you? Can she get a picture? You might as well have said I don't like you. I think that's where you went wrong.
Oh my God, maybe he's just a dude who wanted a little bit of privacy.
Guys, I have to go to a park and have some recreation right now.
All right, everybody say goodbye.
Okay, bye, everybody.